Good morning, guys. We are going out on a morning walk and I'm bringing you along from start to finish today. So buckle up because it's going to be a good walk. I'm putting on my rain boots because it rained last night and so everything's pretty wet outside. But that is not going to stop us. All right. So I have my dog pouch on, I have my e-collar system on. The boys are ready to go, so let's go get it. Binks break. So my brother has a friend sleeping over and the boys are not used to his car being right here, so they're on high alert per usual. All right, so the very first thing I do before we even start walking is I get my e-collar on. And then I usually make Binks heel walk for the first part of our walk. So Binksy, Binks, yope. Which he is not listening right now. Let me go get him. All right, he was over there eating grass. So I was giving him stim on the e-collar. I couldn't tell if it was making contact, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the collar a little bit. I put it on a little looser than I typically do, because with him, I can't have any mistakes as far as my e-collar not working. So I'm gonna lower my e-collar setting. I'm gonna give my yope command again. Binks yope. Good. So his ears twitched a little bit, which told me he could feel that stimulation, which is a good sign. So the very first thing we do is start off with a heel walk. Usually Benny is just chilling on my other side. Binks is left side heel, Benny is right side heel. I prefer to have dogs on either side. Also, it's been a long time since I vlogged with the Osmo. I've been so blessed to have somebody film for me, which is honestly like one of the greatest blessings when it comes to like YouTube. If I'm a little rusty, I'm sorry about that. I also woke up under the weather this morning. I have a runny nose. I don't know if you can hear it in my throat, but my throat is a little sore. So I think after this walk, I'm gonna have to go to the grocery store and buy all the oranges because I don't want to get sick. So right now Binks is in a heel walk. He's being walked on a flat collar in this little 12-inch lead. As you see, he also has an e-collar on. That's how I typically administer any type of communication with him. We're doing a little tune-up drill because he's super interested in what his brother is doing over there. Pretty much a tune-up drill is just supposed to get your dog in tune with you. As you see, he's not really engaged with me at the moment. There it is. Good. I'm gonna go ahead and pay him for that. I still use treats. A lot of people talk about how you need to phase out the treats, stop bringing the treats on your walk, blah, 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 blah. For me, I don't mind bringing the treats. So I'm gonna bring the treats for as long as I feel like bringing the treats. My dogs can perform without the treats. I don't bribe them. And sometimes they don't get rewards even when I have them on me. It's just something I like to do, especially because specifically Benny loves to work for food and Binks is a really hard dog. And so if I can motivate him by using food, I'm gonna use some food. I told you guys it rained last night, which it's still coming down from the top of the trees a little bit, but hopefully we don't see any wildlife today. I'm so funny. I'm like, I love the woods. I want to be out in nature all the time. And then whenever I see wildlife, I'm like, just kidding, abort mission right now. This is one of my favorite things in the mornings when the sun peeks through and it just shines. You can't beat it. So typically, I heel walk Binks for about a quarter mile each morning. The reason I do this is because it reminds him about structure. As you see, he's pulling on the lead a little bit. He just fixed himself, but I was about to stim him on the e-collar. So if he falls out of position again, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Good. As you notice, I paired that with my verbal correction. I do that every time I use the e-collar so that it automatically empowers my verbal correction. But as I was saying, Binks heel walks every single morning. This is to reinforce my leadership or reinforce structure in our walks. If I did not do this with him, he would not be living an off-leash lifestyle. I know it 100% because he would not listen. The hardest part about owning him is that he's a very independent, very stubborn, I want to do what I want to do dog, which obviously I knew all these things before I got him. That means that everything in our life has immense amount of structure to it, down to how in the house, outside of the house, all of it, so that he's able to live the best life possible. Oh my gosh, I have to show you guys this. Look how beautiful. Wow. We are blessed. Blessed to be living in a country that we're free. Blessed to be able to wake up to the sunshine. I'm feeling very blessed this morning. I'm able to get up and move my body with my dogs, which is one of my favorite things to be doing. And this is how we start every morning off. Typically, I like to walk them for about an hour in the morning. This is our one long walk of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I do to release Binks off. Binks, Anjo. Good. So I asked for a sit. I loop his lead into here because it's nice to have it on him that I can easily grab. Sorry if you guys can hear my stuffy nose. Binks, break. I wait for eye contact. Once I get that eye contact, he is free to live off-leash life. I've been working really hard on him, with the boundary of our property. Central Asian Shepherds thrive off of property lines, and typically people recommend having a fence, which I 100% understand, but we don't have a fence. So I have stressed heavily to him where he is and is not allowed to go since the 5 or 6 months since we've been living here. We moved here from Washington and we lived in the suburbs, and now we live out in the country on some land, so that was a big change for him. But because I did a lot of off-leash work with him as a pup, he's able to really do it. And then Benny grew up here, so he knows all about living here. Again, guys, I haven't filmed with the Osmo in a hot minute, so sorry that I'm a little rusty. I forget that most people don't know what Osmo is. An Osmo is a camera. It has like a joystick for where I move the camera. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I was never good at video games growing up, so any type of joystick I'm not very good at using. Just not a whole lot of experience. I'm gonna go ahead and recall him just to get a rep in. Binks, come! Yes! Whoa, sorry. So he, of course, took a pee before he got over here. Benny's eating acorns. Typically, if something comes from the earth, I don't care if my dogs eat it, like sticks, rocks, dirt, acorns, leaves, all of the above, right? I don't really care and stress too much about that because it just stresses me out, and that's not any way to live. And at the end of the day, they're dogs. Like, especially Binks, he was bred to freaking live outside, so The fact that he's living an indoor lifestyle, eating a raw diet, I mean, I think he's fine. But Benny, he has a stomach of steel. So I just don't worry about that kind of stuff too much. And ultimately, if their stomach doesn't agree with it, they're gonna throw it up. The one thing I'm not okay with them eating is cat poop, which they both love to do. So that's been something that we've been working through and getting rid of that habit. So our driveway is 1/4 of a mile long, and we usually do anywhere from 2 to 5 laps on the driveway. That's just up and down, up and down. Pretty normal, pretty basic stuff. Look at my handsome guy. Look at my handsome guy. Benny, in between, I'll usually sprinkle some obedience training, yes, throughout our walk. As you see, brother is coming over because he's like, what's going on? I might want to be a part of this. And guys, I just want to stress again that the only reason Binks is 11 months old, living an off-leash lifestyle, is because I have so much structure in place. I use the e-collar. We're constantly training. We're constantly doing things. Good boy. Yope. Caught whiff of something. Notice how I did not repeat my command. Good. Benny side. Yes. Oh, sorry, Mama dropped it. It also takes a lot of time to get your dog to this level, which I'm not saying that's impossible or anything like that. It's definitely possible, but you're definitely gonna have to elevate yourself as a handler in order to have reliability. And still, I would say that Binks is 98% reliable. The only reason why I find that okay is because 1, I have the e-collar, so I do have accountability with him, and 2, we live on a lot of property, so there's not anyone here. If we were out on a hiking trail, he would not be off leash. He would be on a leash. I do not trust him. If we're out in public with other people, on a leash, definitely. So the only place he really gets to live off leash is here on the property. I think I'm gonna finish up our driveway walk on the tail end of our walk. So I never even finished that. Sorry guys. I'm like, my brain goes from A to B real fast before I even finish a thought. But I was saying that we do about 5 laps on the driveway, which is 1/4 mile long. And then we hop into the woods onto a trail, and that's where we finish out the other half of our walk. As you see, he already knows what we're doing. This loop is about 1/2 mile long, so we usually do a loop around, so it's about a mile walk. In here, this is my handy dandy walking stick that I use every single day. I leave it right here against this pole so that it's waiting for me. And I essentially use this as my spider. Oh gosh. He's starting to get the zoomies. He's really just a big freaking puppy in a 110-pound body. He's so goofy. All right. Oh my gosh. He has been liking to dig lately, which is a Central Asian Shepherd trait. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really here for it, but it's kind of cute because Benny doesn't dig. All right, let's go. Binks, let's go. Not gonna lie, it was a little daunting to think about filming this morning walk because typically this is when I get my thoughts together for the day, and I'm usually pretty vigilant, especially because yesterday we saw a skunk out here, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but if the dogs got sprayed by that, it would be a hot freaking mess for me to deal with. So I usually try to stay vigilant, but I guess whatever happens today, you guys are just gonna be a part of it. So we'll see how the day goes. But this is reality. I, for real, walk the first lap, usually waving my stick around in the air like this to knock down any spider webs, just because the spiders here on the East Coast are absolutely unhinged. All right, come on. I think I'm gonna put the camera down for a second and try to play with Binks a little. He has a lot of energy. So that probably looked like pure chaos, but that's reality every day. A few weeks ago, Benny hurt his back. He strained a muscle. And since then, I have not really let Binks and him play, which means that I've had to take on the role. Because obviously Binks is 11-month-old puppy who loves to play. Literally, that's one of his biggest personality traits, is that he is very playful. So it would be unrealistic of me to think that once Benny's done playing that he has all that energy out. So I try to kind of supplement that a little bit by playing with him. As you guys saw, it's mostly me trying to protect Benny because he wants to play with Benny, but Benny does not want to play with him, but Benny will not correct him. So I just have to take on that role because I don't want to use high levels on the e-collar either whenever it comes to them playing. I wasn't waving my stick and I walked through a spider web. Back to waving my stick around. Good gravy. But this is our amazing trail. I feel so grateful for this every single day because I literally dreamt about this for so long. I used to hike a lot in Washington, maybe 3 to 5 times a week. And so to have this in my backyard is one of the greatest blessings, and big shout out to my dad for putting it together for us because he knows that the dogs and I really like to hike. Binks saw something over there. There's a creek down there, so there's a lot of sand. Yesterday he was digging around down there. You guys can just see how playful he is. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh boy, here he comes, the tank. And guys, I just want to say real quick that if you don't ever take your dog in nature, you are for real missing out. Not only is it really good for you and you're gonna feel good after, you're probably gonna feel way more at peace, way more grounded, but it's gonna be so beneficial for your dog. There are so many scents out here, especially after it rains. The scents are just heightened. So as you see, he just caught whiff of something so mentally enriching for dogs. You're physically exercising them, all the things, just really, really huge. So we are getting to the part of the trail that is the closest part to the road. So typically whenever we come over to this area, I'm the most vigilant. So in the next few minutes, I'll probably just be quiet as we go through that part, just so I can really pay attention to Binks. I'm not worried about my Benster. He's such a good boy and he listens 100%. So Binksy is my trouble child. I always joke that if I get another dog, that it's gonna be a walk in the park compared to him, because he is freaking hard. But that's part of the reason why I got him. I really wanted a dog to push me. And that is what he does every single day. Off he goes. So this is the part of the trail. I don't know if you can hear the cars. They're way up there and pointing with my stick. But This is where I'm usually pretty vigilant about the dogs, because there's a trail right there that leads up to the road. Anytime I see black stuff on him, I always ensure it's not a tick, because if it is, I like to pull it off immediately. But it looks like he just has a whole bunch of sticky briars on him. Not a big deal. All right, so this is part of the trail that we see the most wildlife action, because we're kind of getting down deeper into the woods, and there's a huge field over here. I love my pointer stick. And so they kind of pass through the fields and the woods, and that's how they get here. Piles of woods like this, I do not like. Binks, leave it! Yes, that's where snakes live. So I typically keep them away. And guys, just so much peace out here, I cannot. That's like been my biggest goal since moving to North Carolina, is just to have a life full of peace, because I just want the simple things in life, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of training with them. I've been doing a lot of sit, stay, down work with them and recalling them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Benny, come. Good. Binks, come. Good. Sit. Good. Angel. Good boy. Down. Duel. Good. Honestly, I've not been training the boys as much as I would have preferred. I am currently working on a really big project for work, and it's taken everything out of me to work on that and be a dog mom, be a wife, be a sister, be a friend, all of the things. So honestly, I've just been exhausted for months. But I am so grateful. I'm so honored to be able to do what I love. This is truly my passion, is to just be living with dogs, and ultimately I want to live this woodsy country lifestyle just with more dogs. I love it. And honestly, I love training dogs. I'm a dog trainer, for anyone that does not know. I think I'm really called to help dogs in need, help people in need who have dogs that they cannot take care of. I really feel a calling towards that, and I'm just really hoping that God brings that into my path, because I'm just trusting in Him pretty much. So they go and sniff on their little adventures. I don't mind it too much. I don't try to worry about it. This back here is actually where we saw the skunk yesterday, way tucked back here. Let's see if Benny will go to the bathroom. I kind of wanted to look at his poop. I had given them some beef marrow, or what I thought was beef marrow, what I asked for from my butcher. I honestly don't know if it was beef marrow. It did not look like the beef marrow I've had before, but I just wanted to make sure that they were pooping it out properly, because they ended up eating the entire bone, and I do get a little anxiety when it comes to them eating the raw bones, just ensuring that they're able to pass it safely and things like that. I walked through another spider web. I need to pick up my stick and start waving this thing. So this right over there is where we saw the skunk yesterday. So as you see, we're in pretty dense forest back here. But honestly, I'm thankful it was just a skunk, not like a freaking fox or something. But I have no doubt that Binks would take care of it, even though he's still a pretty immature Central Asian Shepherd and young. I have seen time and time again that he is ready to defend his family with everything he's got. So as you see, he's sniffing way over there. Honestly, I don't know what Benny would do. I feel like he's just a really friendly guy and just wants to go say hi and has no interest in chasing animals off the property per se. What you doing? All right, guys, I'm gonna set the camera up again and get some energy out with Binksy. It's like 2 versus 1, but the 2 are old and the 1 is young. Happy boys. You guys ready? Okay, let's go. All right, guys, so we walked the entire loop once so far, and now we're gonna loop around. So we're gonna go back and then walk back the same way we came, get a little mile in. Before Binks was 6 months old, we did a lot of hiking, and after 6 months, I really slowed it down quite a bit, just because I felt like his joints were taking a hit, and he's an XL dog, and so I just wanted him to start really taking things a little easier. So since then, we have not hiked over 3 miles. Usually we keep it right at 3 miles or less, but I'm looking forward to the next 6 months or so. We can really get into 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mile hikes. I've been really thinking about doing some backpacking. I don't know why I freaking stuttered, but backpacking just sounds really fun to me, or like some camping. We've been thinking about getting an RV. I've been low-key saving up for one. But honestly, if we got an RV, we would have to stick to pretty desolate areas, I'm pretty sure, because Binks would lose it. Hi, pretty boy. You're so handsome, Ben. I honestly think I just had the most handsomest Labrador in all the world. Benny. Good boy. Yes. Benny is my stick by your side type of boy, which I love. And then there's my wild child in the deepest brush possible. This is why it's important to research the dog breed you want, because Labradors are known to be working with a handler. They're known to really have a deep bond with their handler. And although Binks is meant to have a deep bond with his family, that does not mean he wants to be right next to me. He wants to go do his own thing, which I just let him do. Because whenever you put so much restrictions on dogs and you're not fun and you're always like, no, 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 they just don't vibe with that. Why would they want to hang out or work for someone who is constantly saying no, constantly putting all these rules on them? And I understand being worried for your dog's safety, but at the end of the day, like I said before, they're dogs. They're gonna do dog things, live dog life. And I love that for them. I truly do. I think that's why I've felt a little bit more called to rescue and things like that, because I just want to let shelter dogs be dogs. I don't need them to do any high performance obedience. I don't need them to open the doors. I don't need them to do any of that. As long as they're happy living dog lives, I'm happy. I think that's the ultimate goal. And no! He knows that that's not okay to go up there. This way. Ah. Good. Yes. The reason he's not allowed to cross that threshold on the woods up there is because it crosses the threshold on the property that I've placed for him. And I do not feel comfortable letting him get that close to the road. Just because I've not worked on road manners with him since we lived in a neighborhood. And he has no road manners because it's been 5-6 months. Never worked with him here because we're so far off the road. But that's an instance that if he did not listen, that's when I give like the highest form of correction, is when he's gonna break the barriers of the property, because it's just for his safety. People go 50, 60 miles an hour on the road that we live on. That's absolutely not okay. One thing I could do is road manners, but in the next year or so, we were planning on fencing the entire property. And so it's kind of one of those things that's like, if I introduce him to the road up there, then he knows that there's a road. It might get a little confusing to him as to whether or not he's allowed to cross the barrier on the property that is far from the road. So it's kind of one of those things I'm like just kind of waiting for a fence, so that eventually if we do have that fence, I will do the road manners with him, because I know that the fence will keep him in and he won't be able to get out per se. All right, well, initially we were gonna loop back, but I think we're gonna hop off the trail and finish our walk out on the driveway. I am getting a little fatigued just because my body is fighting a sickness. My head is freaking just like tight in my forehead. I know you guys know what I'm talking about if you've ever been sick, which we've all been sick. And then this is the hardest part of the hike, getting out of the woods. Let's see that body work, boys. My stick goes back on its stick holder, and we keep on walking. Good boy. Good boy. So to just show you guys the property line, Binks is not allowed to cross this tree line across. These trees, he's allowed to be in the field over here, but past these trees, he's not allowed to be. These trees are our marker, pretty much, that lets him know what is and is not okay. And the very last tree up here is his do not pass line. He is not allowed to pass that tree. And as you see, there's quite a bit ways to the road way up there. Ah! Good. He just tried to push the boundary a little, so he got a correction. And so typically I turn around at this second tree. As you see, he stopped. He knows he's not allowed to pass. And where he was trying to come up in the woods is way up there. So that's why I don't let him, because this is his line right here. And I try to differentiate the fact if we're walking in the woods that we're passing that, he doesn't really know it. but up there he would definitely know he's past that threshold. So again, that's why I do not let him get out of the trail anywhere but the trail exit that we have set up. Guys, I don't know how people genuinely do not exercise their dog. Like, I feel like I'm getting good at exercise right now and it's doing good things for me. So it's like a double whammy. It's like I'm exercising my dogs and I'm exercising myself. Also, if you've not moved today or exercised your dog, please go outside and do that. They will thank you and love you so much if you do that for them. Even if it's only a 10 or 15-minute walk, you don't have to commit to an hour or 2 hours, just 10 or 15 minutes. Let them vibe it out there. Benny's hungry because he is a garbage disposal and because he's been on a diet. Whereas Binks could really care less about food. He's just out here for the good vibes. I think we're gonna do one more lap up and down the driveway, and then I'm gonna take you guys to go see the cat. We go visit the cat, Daisy, every single morning for the most part. Binks is still getting acclimated to her. It's been several months, but we're making really great progress. I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like. And the reason I've been like really pushing him with her as of lately is because she's about to be spayed. So she's about to be let loose to be an outdoor cat because we have rodent issues and she is a barn cat. So I want him to be extremely neutral, extremely friendly with her once she's out and about living her best life. But it's really funny because she's still a baby. I want to say she's like 20 or 25 weeks old, but once we brought her home, within like a week or two, we realized that we had a stray cat living here on the property. He is surviving off of nature, which is super cool. And we have no interest in catching him, but hopefully him and Daisy, or her and Daisy, get along really well and they don't have any issues. So I'll see you guys after we walk this last lap, and then we're gonna go see the cat. You wanna go see Daisy? You wanna go see Daisy? Let's go see Daisy. Let's go see Daisy. As you guys see, they both know the way to go see her. This is the power of a little bit of routine. Down. Good. Binks. Duel. And you guys can just see how stubborn he is. Takes him twice as long, but that's okay. I'm gonna go grab Daisy real quick. All right, guys, this is Daisy, the barn cat. Say hi, Daisy. Hi, Daisy. So we have really been working on just them being neutral around her. So we're able to be down on this level. Good. Good. Nice and close. Still remaining to be neutral, which is awesome. Down. Good. Good, Binksy. I've been working on keeping her on the ground near them. And I keep these sessions pretty short, not a whole lot of time, just because I want to keep it under Binks's threshold level. So he's not really staring at her. He's kind of looking at other things, which is what I want him to do. Just be super neutral around her. So I'm gonna go put her away. That pretty much wraps up our walk and what we do every single morning. I'm about to take the dogs back inside, and usually they chill for a few minutes, and then I feed them breakfast, and then I go about my day. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this morning walk. If you've stuck with it until now, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you. I would not be able to reach and achieve my dreams without you guys. So I will see you guys in the next one.